Okay.
It's like we're really gonna have to fight for conversation
Are these
today.
new? These little guys?
These little dinosaurs, these stuffed animal dinosaurs. Yes, they are brand whoopsh, spanking new. Sorry, I just spanked the dinosaur.
Can we name them? Have you named them yet?
No.
I think this one's name should be Rooster.
Because he's red.
Maybe. It just came. It was just the first thing that came to my
the
head.
hair thing.
Yeah, Rooster.
And this one is
Carmichael.
dang it. Yeah, that's
Rooster
better than what I was gonna say.
Rooster and Carmichael.
Rooster and Carmichael. We might have to reference them. Yeah, got them from Hobby Lobby in the party section.
And for those listening on audio only, we have a red,
Adorable T-Rex-like
yeah.
being, and a small green, adorable
Sauropod.
Well, I mean, is that not a Brachiosaurus?
I think it's the type of dinosaur. I think that is a sauropod.
Is a Brachiosaurus a type of sauropod?
I believe it is. It's like saying canine. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
We're not here to give scientific advice.
We're not here to give archaeology tips.
Yeah, but yeah, got these $10 each at Hobby Lobby.
Deal of a lifetime.
Deal of a lifetime. Here's what actually happened. I brought them to my son. That's right. I have a son. I've made peace
Cat's
with
out of
that.
the bag.
I've made peace with it. I reference them all the time. So I was like, oh, these are super cute. And, you know, my wife was pushing them around in the cart. So I brought these two to the cart to him. And I was like, which one do you want? And he goes, thanks, Daddy. And grabbed both of them. And I was like, well, $20.
So you're the type of parent that just gets the thing that your kid grabs at the store and buys it for them.
I grabbed it, and I really wanted to buy both.
Okay.
And that was probably in the cards for a while.
He just
was to buy both.
Pushed you over the edge.
I'm the classic spoiler parent. I just want to buy him things because I want to buy me things. And like,
More
if
like
I'm,
you like tchotchkes. Tchotchkes?
what does this mean?
You know, like little trinkets and cute little toys.
Well, I think my board game wall speaks for itself. I enjoy having collections of things.
Right.
You've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it.
My collector's
Legos.
bone. Like a
Collector's bone.
Is that not like a?
Oh, just like the part of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lego.
I thought it was like a bone of like a collectible bone.
No, I don't have a bone collection.
The bone collector.
No, that would be weird. No, I like to collect things, and I enjoy. Not that things bring me happiness at all.
Hey, things can bring you happiness. Things can bring you joy. Joy.
Well, maybe they bring me happiness, not joy. I do enjoy having them.
Well, I think it's okay to say they bring you joy.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know the difference between joy and happiness.
Roman. Need we go into a Bible study right now? But yeah, so I do enjoy having things and getting things. I need to work out a system of how to get rid of things.
Yeah, so I feel like
because I don't do that well.
I have kind of swung the opposite pendulum and have decided there was a point in my life when I decided that I didn't really want to be tied to a real hippy dippy moment of not wanting to be tied to stuff.
Yeah.
And so we like got rid of a lot of our stuff.
Right.
It was like the whole minimalism movement.
Yeah, I still have some of your mugs that you got rid of.
Yeah. So, I mean, we actively get rid of mugs. I mean, they just show up. I don't know what is it with mugs that you just get them at birthdays and Christmases.
One of my favorite mugs was like a Christmas themed mug that has a tiny mouse on the little handle. It was from Starbucks, and you guys were getting rid of it. And I was like, give me that mouse mug.
Yeah, so we went through like a minimalism. It was when everyone was getting into it. You know, we're classic bandwagon people, apparently.
I did not get into that.
But I was like, yeah, this makes sense, man. Declutter your soul.
Yeah.
There's too much stuff. But then recently in life, I'm like, I should get into more stuff. I should have hobbies. I should get into some, pop culture.
But to be fair, you've also taken a few hobbies and not really...
I'm a classic start a hobby, go all in. And
you're the reason I got into woodworking. You were like, you sent me a video of this guy who makes wooden spoons.
That's a good video.
You're like, do you want to get into like wooden spoon carving and like other things? And I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun.
So we should get together and carve spoons.
And me, the child in me loves picking up hobbies and getting like new things and starting new things. So I was like, yeah. So I bought my own knives. Now this was during the lockdown. So bought my own knives and had to Amazon some wood to my house.
He literally bought wood on Amazon instead of just going and picking up something off the ground.
And then I started carving. I was like, when are you going to get your knives? And you were like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I was like, dang it.
Turns out I enjoy watching videos of people carve wood on the internet. I mean,
rightfully so. That was a very happy man in that video.
Maybe we'll link to that video in the description.
We should. This should be the first time we actually follow through with a link that we say we're going to put somewhere.
I'm going to try to remember to link to it in the description.
If you just listen to what we say at all, you could put a link in.
But you got into the wood carve. There's been a few hobbies.
I've carved several gnomes at this point.
Yeah, several gnomes. We should bring them and set them along the front like this next episode maybe.
Maybe next episode.
Anyway, but yeah, I tend to. There's a couple hobbies I definitely went kind of all in on.
Leatherworking.
The thing that happens with me is I would probably categorize myself as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
In that anytime I start a hobby, I like within the first...
This could make me a millionaire.
Yeah, like the first week, not even before I started, I'm already forming a business plan.
Before
and like, how am I going to sell these?
Before the supplies even come in.
So I don't know if I can like enjoy a hobby just for hobby's sake.
I mean...
leatherworking, woodworking, soap making this happened.
Strapping Adam.
That was a good name.
That's a pretty great name for a company.
Strapping Adam was going to be the best soap company of all time. It was actually right when what's the Squatch soap? You know, we've all heard of it. It was before Dr. Squatch was big.
Yeah.
And I had this idea. I'm like, I don't want to be this guy that's like, I had the idea before.
If only
they
I
made
had
it big.
just
but
invested.
It was going to be a manly soap, and but you know. I decided I didn't really like making soap.
And I used some of your soap, and I'm going to be honest, it was just soap.
Yeah, there wasn't anything special about it.
It wasn't super. It was good. It smelled. I had like a nice minty one, and it was like a tea tree.
Yeah,
and it was. It was good soap.
But I developed a good life skill of making soap.
Have you done it since?
No, I made one. I made like.
You made one batch. No.
I made like maybe 7 batches because I was actually working out the formulas. I was working out the flavors and the formulas.
You don't eat it.
It's not flavors. Scents.
Same thing though.
And then I just hit a point where I was like, you know what?
This is a bad idea.
I don't want to do this. I think it was when I found myself on Super Bowl Sunday instead of watching the Super Bowl, making soap instead.
I'm gonna be honest. That sounds like an agreeable situation to me. I don't really care for sports and the Super Bowl. I watch for the halftime show and the commercials.
Yeah.
But nowadays, not even the commercials. They're not that good.
No.
But yeah.
So
hobbies, getting stuff like that.
It's good stuff. Maybe we should do an episode all about failed hobbies. But this isn't that episode.
The problem is though, just before we jump into the actual episode, I would not consider myself a failed hobbyer at any of the hobbies that I take up. I just rotate them. And I keep them.
Yeah.
You know,
I can respect that.
Yeah, I would consider woodworking. I haven't done it in a bit, but I would
saying, and when you're saying woodworking, you're talking like whittling.
Yeah,
not
whittling,
like
not
building furniture.
Well, I would love to do that at some point, but you know,
it takes a lot of tools.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You got to get big saws.
I just want a single knife and a block of wood. And then like board games. I'm always playing board games, and then even music. I'd consider that a hobby. It's not a way of life for me, but I go in cycles because I know me.
You're
and I
cyclical.
Like to keep, I'm cyclical, and I like to keep the hobbies around so that I can jump back into them. So I don't ever fail and stop doing them altogether.
Maybe I'm just looking at hobbies the wrong way.
They're meant to be something that is not work.
That's my problem. I always want to turn them into work.
Yeah, and
Am I a workaholic?
You are. I wouldn't say you're a workaholic. You're an entrepreneuraholic. You want to start a business. You want to. I
mean, I have a business. I'm not the guy that it just always is
right, but you have a business that you are always doing.
Yeah. I'm always want to start a side business.
Over the last like 2 years, you've probably started 7 businesses or more.
Here's what I've heard.
You get
1 out of 10 businesses.
You buy LLCs like it's going out of style.
1 out of 10 businesses succeed. I just got to start 10, and one of them's going to be great.
You have one that's great.
No, I think I like just experimenting, you know?
Yeah.
I like learning new things, experimenting with different industries. And every time I've started a business or a side project, whether it's gone somewhere or not, I feel like I've learned something.
That's true.
Yeah.
How to make soap.
Yeah, I got that life skill in case the zombies come.
I still have a keychain that you leather worked for me. I don't use it.
Heirloom quality.
It was heirloom quality. It lasts. Anyway.
Well,
but on to today's topic.
Cameron, wait. What episode are we doing right now?
What do you think? What episode do you think we're doing?
I was writing...
Are we about to be doing 2 separate episodes? I mean, I could audible. Well, you know what? Let's just get your right cards and we'll come right back. Huh?
All right. And we're back.
Wow.
Listen, this is we're bootstrapping this podcast, and sometimes you got poor communication.
You brought a knife to a gunfight.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, now we are ready for our actual topic that both of us are on the same page about, which is...
Let's hope it's pet peeves because, yeah.
Pet peeves.
Our greatest, our most undesirable pet peeves.
Yeah, and when we're talking, we should probably define what a pet peeve is.
A small hamster, rabbit, or other rodent that has the name peeve that you would keep in your house, around the house.
Our list will look very different.
Cut.
No, it is a annoyance, you know?
Yeah, something that irks.
Irks, yeah. Everyone knows what a pet peeve is.
Gets under your skin.
I wanted to make sure you knew what a pet peeve was.
Well, if I didn't.
Because this was my selection.
This was
pet peeves
your selection.
I brought this one to the table.
This is a good one.
So would you like to...
I really enjoyed thinking through this because
I did too.
I realized that there are more things than I thought that bother me. And one that is my greatest of all... And it's not even that bad. I guess this just showed me how human I am.
How petty you can
really be. My number one is just so like
first world problem.
It's one of the more common mistakes, and I can't wait to get to it because I'm gonna vent like crazy when we get there.
The thing is, we're both very positive people.
We are both very positive people.
But this time, we're going to get a little negative on this episode.
Can't wait, man. I cannot wait to give people my mind.
But hopefully, we still have fun with it.
Yeah, I'm going to have fun because these are pretty...
Since this was mine, I will go first.
Go first!
My number 5 is the whistler. Now, the whistler is not...
just someone who whistles.
It's not a personification of anybody who whistles. This is a person in my life, the whistler. So...
Who is it? What's his or her name?
I don't know his or her name. I've never met them.
Okay.
I've never met them. I like to keep fit.
Oh no, this is like a real person that exists that whistles.
I go to a gym to work out in the early morning.
We all do.
You know, it's usually around 6:30. I get in there and mix it up. And I usually go with a workout partner. Sometimes I go alone. Sometimes I go with a workout partner. When I am with a workout partner, I do not wear headphones. Because I enjoy, visiting.
I never wear headphones. Not
a lot of people do, though.
I know. I can't do it. One of my pet peeves.
No, when I go by myself, I'm definitely wearing headphones because I'm listening to a podcast. I don't really listen to music, but I listen to podcasts and use it to better myself, sharpen my skills, as it were.
Get back to it.
So I'm here without headphones at the gym, and like 8 out of 10 times, there's this guy that's there. And we have deemed him, you would think... We've deemed him the whistler. And he's listening to headphones, first of all. And I don't know if he thinks he's whistling the tune of the song.
He's so
If he's
unaware.
trying to pull people into the song with him, or if he just flat out doesn't know he's doing it. But it sounds like... And I when I first heard it, I was like, I had to look around. I'm like, what is happening? It sounds like a finch. There's a finch in the building. Yes, that. It's like
he's doing the high pitch whistle.
But it's like yeah, but it's not. It's like a bird whistle, and it's not like if you were like whistling, I don't know, Party in the USA, I would be like, yeah. I mean, I'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just think it's so rude.
But it's a bird-like whistle.
It's a bird whistle.
It's probably his mating call.
I don't know if he just... Okay, so he's
like... He's
like,
putting out the vibe,
He's
Roman.
like 75.
No, wow,
So it's
that's
hard to
even
like hold
weirder.
it against him. He's an older guy. I mean, he's pretty old. But I feel like you got to know that you're doing it right. Does he not know?
I don't know.
I've never confronted him about it.
You should maybe knock on his door and say, "Hey, sir."
What door? He's just like lifting on a machine.
You should knock on his machine and say, "Hey, sir."
He'll just be.
My
That's like rude.
My
I'm like,
thoughts are, if you can like joyfully whistle while you're working out, are you really working out that hard? Are you doing something that's actually helping you?
I don't know. I did hear him. I was like, I was there once and I heard him like take his headphones out and he like went over and helped someone like do something. So he seems like he's probably a nice
And so
guy.
you ran over and picked up his headphones like, what on earth are you listening to?
What if he was just listening to whistling? He's doing the exact
He's
sounds.
just a professional whistler that is honing his craft. You got to work out.
Oh,
You got to
man.
work out every muscle. Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
The Whistler.
The Whistler. Well, hey, I get why that would be a
Pet peeve number 5.
pet peeve number 5. My pet peeve number 5 is this quote. Tell me a joke. When someone finds out that you're a funny guy, even worse, when somebody's like, hey, this is Cameron. He's super funny. That's like one of the worst ways to introduce someone.
Does that happen to you?
Often. Very often. And like when someone's like, yeah, this is so-and-so, it happens to our good friend John as well. John Posey. He always gets this. Yeah, he's so funny. This is like the funniest guy I know. And John's just sitting there like, I hate this. Like, this is terrible. And like the same thing happens to me. Like, man, this guy's so funny. And then the other person, they're like, oh, really? And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Oh, tell me a joke. That is just the like.
That happens to you? I don't know if that's ever happened to me.
It's the equivalent of someone going, dance, monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Dance.
I hate the dance monkey sentiment.
Perform for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't do jokes. I'm more of a situational humor kind of guy.
Same.
I will later comment on how ridiculous this conversation was.
I was just talking with someone the other day about just the idea and one of the pet peeves I should have made my list. It was when someone just tells a joke. It's almost never funny.
I guess
because you're like waiting for the punchline and you're like feel obligated to laugh.
And maybe that's my pet peeve. Maybe my pet peeve is that jokes aren't inherently funny.
Yeah.
Like to just
like
have
rehearsed
a canned joke is not funny.
No, it's like
and
when someone comes
hears,
up, hey, I got a joke for you. Check it out. Listen to this joke I heard.
Oh my gosh.
And then you're like, okay, now I have to laugh. Obligatory in a few minutes.
This better be real good. But most of the time you're just like, ha.
The most of the time
Dang it.
I just say, that's good.
But in actuality, it was not good.
No, so I'm lying.
So
I'm
maybe
just not
that's
real.
Maybe that's closer to my pet peeve is that when somebody thinks, if this guy is so funny, he's probably got really good jokes. I just don't have a joke. The joke is my life, Roman. I am a situational humor fella. I make jokes and I make comments about things that are happening in real time. And so
Improv style.
For someone to tell a joke. Tell me a joke. I
Make
just
me
can't
laugh.
do it. I can't do it. Yeah. And I don't ever tell a joke in those moments.
And if you're like going to a stand-up comedy show, you're listening, it's like you're going in with the intention to hear jokes.
But even those, there is like one comedian that actually just tells jokes. Most comedians have like a story or a storyline that they're going off of, and they're making
Cameron.
comments.
Of all the comedians, there's one comedian that tells jokes.
And does it well. His name is Dimitri Martin.
There's so many comedians that just tell jokes.
Nope.
Yes, there is.
Nope. Not just tell jokes.
That's all comedians do is tell jokes.
Nope.
You don't know. You're just not defining a joke properly.
I just can't do it. Maybe I'm just so mad at the whole idea of a joke. This is going to be a heavy episode.
We're just talking about jokes.
I've never been so mad about jokes.
According to Cameron, there's one comedian that does tell jokes.
Name any other comedian.
Every comedian.
Name one. Why
I
is
don't
it so
know
hard?
that many comedians.
Yeah, well,
Jerry Seinfeld, he tells jokes.
Listen to this guy. Name a comedian. Oh, the number one comedian in the whole world, the most popular guy that there's ever been.
I know comedians. I'm just not gonna.
This episode's already got me in a bad tizzy.
This episode isn't sponsored by any comedian, so I don't want to say any names.
That's
Number
a good
4.
point. But comedians are great. I do love listening to stand-up comedy. Jokes are fun.
One of my biggest pet peeves is being called buddy.
Well, clearly it's not your biggest pet peeve.
One of
the
number
5,
4.
I guess.
Being called any variation of buddy, buddy, bud. Bud is almost worse than buddy.
Bub.
Bub, I don't know if I've ever got that.
Nah,
Buddy
it's probably-
boy, I don't know if I've got that, but that would be bad.
That would be pretty. I could see how that would be quite upsetting.
Like when you go into the gas station and they're like, "Hey, bud." I don't know, like that. I'm not your bud.
What about pal?
Pal is better to me, but a lot of times buddy is like, listen here, buddy. It's like it's like a demeaning
Now
thing.
you listen to me, buddy.
Sorry, bud.
Listen here, buddy.
I just don't. It seems not respectful to me.
It does seem.
And I demand to be respected.
Yeah, that's one. It's as long as I've known you, that is your one demand. But yeah, I guess I could see how being called buddy could be little fella.
Yeah,
little
and
guy.
I don't
it
like.
Just makes it seem
It's just
you're
like-
a kid and I'm an adult.
Exactly.
I haven't been called buddy since it was a parent saying buddy.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like I also don't like when people refer. I never refer to my like high school friends as my buddies.
I have a friend that's the one time I'm okay with
My
that.
buddies.
I have a friend that
Me
does
and
refer to
Julianne
us.
talk about that sometimes. It's funny that people say my buddies.
Well, that's the thing though. Whenever it's someone that I know that is referring to me as one of their buddies, I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, yeah.
But when it's someone I don't know that calls me buddy,
Hey, buddy.
that's the
Hey, bud.
hey buddy. Yeah, thanks, buddy. It's like you don't mean that.
So this is a pet peeve of yours too.
I guess so. Like whenever I go to a
getting worked
it's
up.
mainly the gas station when
What
someone's
is it
like,
about
buddy,
gas stations?
we don't need to be buddies.
Why is everyone calling gas station people buddies at gas stations?
We don't need to be buddies.
Is it part of the training curriculum?
I'm just here to get gas and possibly a snack or two. I'm never going to see you again.
What's your preferred snack if you're going to like a quick trip?
Ooh, preferred snack. Well, it depends on what time of day it is. It depends on how hungry I am.
You don't have to elaborate. Just give me like one.
Well, when I go to Quick Trip, the one snack I really get is like
Hot dogs.
No, the
Taquitos.
nope, no, close though. Pizza. I'm kidding. There is like a breakfast grilled cheese that they have that's pretty amazing.
The breakfast grilled cheese is good.
Breakfast grilled cheese and the breakfast croissant that they have, sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
The breakfast grilled cheese with bacon is.
Have you ever had
pretty
their
delicious.
breakfast pizza? It
No,
sounds disgusting.
I haven't hit a low point in my life where I'm eating breakfast pizza.
I have.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty good, but I won't eat it now because it does seem like you need to be in a low point for that. My
right.
number 4.
Yeah.
On to my number 4. Song skippers. People that don't let the song finish. Bunch of DJs out there
song
thinking they
skippers.
can crossfade and change the song all about. I just want to hear the rest of the song.
Tell me a situation where this is a problem.
Well, when you're on a road trip and you're listening to and you've got someone who's the navigator and is controlling the music, and you get 2 minutes into a 3-minute and 30-second song and they change it.
I would guess it's because you're probably belting out the song, and when they change it, you're stuck singing.
No,
acapella.
I just demand to finish a song.
Yeah, I can respect
for
that.
me, I want sometimes they don't even get to the bridge. And sometimes the bridge is the best part.
you got to get to the bridge at least.
I just can't and two, some people are like 20 seconds away from the end, and why can you not just finish the song?
It's this culture we're living in. This culture of hurry.
I've
busy.
heard enough of this song. Time to get to the next instant gratification. But that to me, song skippers, people that just and I always call it out whenever I see it happening. I'll be
for
like,
you.
will you not just let the song finish? Please? Navigator, you're off the music. That's what I
Let
have
that
to.
Boys to Men song play out.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. Because if it's a good song, why don't we want to listen to it for another minute and a half? Doesn't make sense
it's
to me.
because when the person made it, they expected you to finish the song.
Yeah.
Unless they're, what about when there's a 25-second fade out on an 80s ballad?
Or
the fade out used to be the thing to do.
The fade out, the California. That song, the fade out on that one?
Oh, yeah.
Cali, boop, beep, bop, boop, beep, bop, Richter scale. Talking about an earthquake on that Richter scale.
I'm familiar.
Baby mama, mimi, moo moo, beep, bop, golly. I'm like,
Somebody please play that side by side with a real song.
That is like legit how the song was. That California
Love.
California
by,
Love.
Tupac and Dr. Dre.
You don't often see the extended, like the actual ending anymore because it's truly ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
They get on auto-tune and they go, that's the one song that you have to listen to the whole thing because you start laughing by the end because of how truly ridiculous it is.
It is good.
But yeah, song skippers. Number 4.
Okay. My number 3 is people calling themselves dog parents or saying mommy and daddy when they're talking to their dog or talking about dog as if I've heard people say my child, my kid, and referring to their dog.
My wife does that.
Okay, so that drives me crazy.
She's not like, I'm a dog mom. She's just like, I love my dog. And I think there's an element of...
It's like talking to your dog and saying things like, mommy and daddy missed you.
Yeah, that was not... Yeah, we don't do that. But I mean, you should love your pet. Name it Peeve if you want to.
I mean, sure.
You should love your pet enough to consider it a member of the family, I think. That might be one of my pet peeves.
There's probably schools of thought out there.
I just think you've invited this dog into your home. In some cases, got it from birth. In some cases, rescued it. And to just toss it to the wayside is a real shame.
I'm not advocating people toss dogs to the wayside.
No, I'm not saying dogs are more important than humans. Because obviously, once I had a kid, that took priority.
I would hope so.
But some people, present company excluded, just ship their dogs off.
Yeah, it's the whole like loving your dog thing. I'm great with. It's when the actual calling yourself
dog mom,
a mom or a daddy, or saying
do
mommy and
really,
daddy missed you.
Do you really ever hear a dog daddy? Someone that's like, dog daddy's home.
I have actually, yes.
Really?
I think
I have not ever heard of a guy that's been like, I'm a dog daddy.
I don't know. Maybe
like mommy and daddy like together makes more sense if someone's saying
mommy and daddy didn't mean to leave you all alone for that long.
Oh gosh.
Talking to the dog.
I can't do it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pet peeve.
It's not so much a pet peeve for me. I just hate it. I hate whenever. Actually, I guess I just don't like it when people refer to themselves as mommy and daddy.
Even to their children?
Even to their children.
Well,
maybe to their
what
children.
Do you say?
Well, I guess
father and mother.
To my child, I refer to my wife as mommy, but I don't call her mommy. That'd be weird.
As in, like, you don't say, "Hey, mommy, come over here."
Right. Like, because you get in like a habit. Like, I tried to break that habit as soon as we could, because you want your kid to say mommy or daddy, so you start calling the other parent mommy or daddy.
Yeah.
And some people just let that linger.
We probably do that. I would probably
still.
I probably
in like everyday conversation.
If I'm saying,
man, I just thought of a great pet peeve. When you first have a kid and everyone starts calling you daddy.
Hey, daddy.
Hey, daddy.
That is annoying.
That to me, that's on an honorable mention because, man, when I first had a kid, that was the thing I was looking forward to the least.
Hey there, daddy.
Hey, daddy. Please stop calling me daddy. You're not even my son.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so that's good.
Along the same lines, like when you first have a kid, when you first get married, it's really annoying when everyone says, "How's the married life?" Like three years after you're married. Like you haven't seen him in a while. Hey, how's the married life? We've been married for 7 years.
I like that kind of question, but I like to switch it up on people. I just did this to someone on this past Wednesday. I said, "Oh, how long you been married?" And they were like, "Oh, like 2 years." And I went, "You still like it? Do you still enjoy that?" Because it's just like,
what happens if they say no?
I'd be like, "Well, ouch."
That could be a bad moment.
Or it could lead to a really great conversation.
I guess.
I don't know. that question, I agree. It's not great. My number 3?
Oh, yeah, you're number 3.
Man, what is the maybe I have a high regard for jokes, because my number 3 is when not funny people try to make jokes.
Oh,
Because maybe they think they should, or like they think this needs some humor, but they're just not inclined to humor.
yeah. Give me an example. When does this happen?
I
I mean, you don't have to say any names.
Yeah,
out
I can't
loud.
think of examples. I can't say examples because it'd be really awkward if the person thought it was them as I was talking about
Well, I think
this.
there's a problem that if you're in, who knows if we're really funny? I mean, maybe we're objectively, who knows? We think we're funny together, I guess.
I mean, at risk of sounding conceited, risk of sounding conceited, I know I'm funny.
People introduce you as this is a funny guy.
Yeah,
Hey, Cameron, he's a funny guy.
I've got so many great jokes. I memorized joke books when I was a kid. No, I mean, I know. I see people laughing, even people that don't know me, whenever I'm talking to them. Like, so I know that I have jokes. I know that I'm funny jokes.
Yeah.
But there are people that are not inclined to humor, and it just feels forced.
You think they should just not try?
I feel like, I mean,
They
you
should
can
lean
laugh,
into the non-funny?
It's fine. Some people aren't funny, but it's when you try to force jokes into a moment where it's just like, this isn't you.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. And I don't know. I think a lot of people maybe think that those are funny things that they're saying. The bigger thing for me is not funny. The bigger thing for me is when someone, we just are very negative today.
This is great.
This is a therapy session.
This is venting.
Less about you're funny and you're trying to be funny and it's not funny. It's more that you're telling me a story that absolutely has no beginning, middle, and end or interest.
The storyteller.
This is an uninteresting story. There's nothing interesting about the story you're telling me. This is just a fact that happened to you.
Why am I getting all these details?
Exactly.
A little storytelling moment for you guys. A little storytelling training, I guess.
Yeah,
you don't need all the details.
Yeah,
we don't need to know what the guy was wearing if it doesn't come into play.
You know what? It was actually on Wednesday. No. This happened on Tuesday at lunch.
Does that play into the story at all?
No.
Great.
Yeah.
Don't need to know.
Yeah.
That's the main. People think we need to know. But
I think that maybe people think you're adding a little color.
Ooh,
I
a little bit of
adding.
spice.
Of course, you got to add a little bit of like tension. You got to add the little elements and picture what's happening.
Yep.
But the details about the random details that have no purpose. It's just not.
Here's what you do, because I think everyone should be able to tell stories.
It's human nature.
Whether it's whether it's humorous or not, you should learn a little bit about storytelling, because that just helps people stick with you.
Yeah.
Whenever you're trying to lead people, it's good to be able to tell a story. Whenever you're trying to help people, it's good to be able to tell a story. Plus, you got kids one day, they're going to want to hear stories. You got to get used to it.
Beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
That's the basics.
So just start
something interesting.
Yeah, it's great.
Is there tension?
If you're ever
did you overcome something? Did you overcome an obstacle?
Here's what little favor for all of you out there that are like, maybe my stories are terrible. Just Google the story spine that Disney uses and let that. Just try to do a little simple story.
Don't overwhelm yourself, though.
But it's not overwhelming. It's just like 7 little things.
Just memorize these 7 bullet points.
Once upon a time. It's that.
Start every story with once upon a time.
In business and in life. Once upon a time, corporate had just come into the building. Don't be that weirdo, but understand the idea behind the structure of a story. It helps.
Yeah. Oh,
it helps.
Totally.
People stick with you.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. Maybe
bad storytellers and non-funny people.
Well, no, they're not. I don't mind if someone's not funny. I'm just saying don't overly try to be funny because you think that's what's expected of you in that moment.
Yeah, but what's the alternative? They just don't try? I say go for it. Hey, you go for it.
You can be
you get out there, see what works, see if they're giving you a fake laugh.
You can be a joyful person, you can be a happy person. You don't have to be a funny person, but you can have both of those even if you're a super serious guy.
I think that's why those canned jokes exist. for not funny people. That they can like start off their little speech with a joke.
This is great.
We're working
What
it
is
out.
therapy session here?
Yeah, at the risk of sounding cynical today with this list. Man, all right.
My next ones are.
Wait.
Yeah,
What number are
maybe
you
not.
on?
I'm on 2.
Okay,
So
yeah,
you're
2.
it's probably your turn.
This one is real.
Oh no.
Someone looking at the phone when you're talking to them. You're trying to talk to somebody, and they just have their phone in their hand, and maybe they get a text, and the same goes for the Apple Watch. It's no better, people. If I'm trying to talk to you and you got a text on your Apple Watch and you're checking it out and you're scrolling like my brother Cameron here, this is a problem.
Oh, you noticed this?
This is a problem.
Yeah. For those of you
Did you
just
see
listening,
how when you picked up the phone, I went from talking to you to talking to the camera?
because I was looking at a phone.
Why am I talking if you're clearly not listening?
Well, it was an example, Roman.
This happened.
I realize it's your pet peeve, but it
This
was an
happened
example.
that you did this just the other day when we were having lunch. Granted, you were looking for a photo.
You moved on. I said I wanted to show you how fat I was. Let me look for a picture of how fat I was.
You didn't have to tell them.
And
I wasn't going to tell them what picture you were looking for.
I'm like, let me just. I have a before picture. Let me find it. I have a before picture because I've taken 1,000 before pictures in my life.
I was going to save you. I was going to spare the details.
But I'm doing great. I'm not great. I'm doing well now. I'm getting better. And so
Getting in the gym?
I'm hitting the gym. I'm trying to eat healthier as well. And so yeah, I don't mind saying what it was about. But the joke, I don't remember what comedian it was, but the comedian was talking about, and it's not a joke. The funny part about his story was like, maybe you've been a girl. I don't know. This is not an important detail. See what I mean?
This is what's happening.
I'm trying to remember what I was actually talking about when I started talking. Oh yeah. So like the idea of before pictures, and like we take before pictures all the time. And the comedian was talking about how like the before pictures, if you put all of my before pictures in like a time lapse, it's just a side-by-side comparison of how fat I'm getting in my life because I keep taking before pictures. And that's like, I know I have a before picture because I've been fat and I've tried to change. And so
anyway, I was talking to you and then I moved on. I was trying to talk while you were looking for a photo and then I just stopped talking.
But again, I was still in my part. Granted, it took me a lot longer than it should have to
so
find.
Long.
You know, apparently it had been like 3 years since I was that fat. I thought it was much more recent, but yeah.
Regardless, when you're talking to somebody,
Yeah.
and I think that
Be human. Just be human.
The thing
now.
with the Apple Watch kind of irks me because it's like
You
I
don't
get
know,
a pass
am I
because
telling
it's on my
time?
wrist. Yeah, because it looks like I'm checking the time, but I'm really just reading my text while you're trying to tell me.
Did you see what I
the
just
story.
did there? I took a drink of water, checked my watch at the same time, so you didn't know.
That was very sly. I'm just not a fan of the Apple Watch in general of being that connected all the time.
Mine doesn't actually connect to my phone anymore because I sweat all the way through it. But I got it for like workouts and it tracks your activity pretty well. So I mean, they're great. They're great. I believe in them.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't like being overly connected. I'm pretty bad at texting back too. So there's that. I get that. I don't know how it wasn't a pet peeve of mine because it is kind of a pet peeve of mine as well. Honorable mention it is. My number 2, eating in silence.
Yeah, you hate that.
I hate that. I can't stand it. I hear everything. I hear it all. It's terrible.
Like you hate just
Eating in silence.
hearing someone chew.
No, hearing myself chew.
Oh, hearing yourself chew.
Yeah,
by yourself. You can't
I can't even eat in silence by myself.
Well, that's weird.
It is like the biggest pet peeve of my life, and I don't even know why. But like,
maybe you should see someone about this, like a counselor.
I've heard theories about what it might be, but like, I really just turn on a podcast, turn on music, turn on the TV, turn on anything.
Okay, so is what about
or let's have some conversation going on around.
What about it bugs you so bad?
I hate it.
What, you gotta define it. What is it? Is it the sound of your mouth
possibly
chewing, the food being crunched?
Yeah, possibly.
So like your worst nightmare would be like wearing headphones and hearing a recording of somebody eating. Or is it always yourself?
I don't think anyone would enjoy that. But no, it's just like I don't. It's not even like I can't be in silence because I can and I do, but like it's specifically when I'm eating that I hear it all. And I hear a lot.
You have spidey senses.
I've got those spidey senses. It's also really hard for me to have a conversation when there's a lot of conversations going on around because I listen to it all.
You're an eavesdropper.
I hear it all. I don't want to. Roman, I don't want to. I'm trying to change.
You're like, oh man, there's a reference, like a superhero that has super hearing and he's like hearing all the, who is it? Daredevil.
I thought it was Superman.
You're like Daredevil.
Sure. I'm not blind though.
Where he's just like, I can't hear. And he hears everyone's thoughts.
I thought
and
that was
conversation.
Superman.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's definitely a scene from Superman.
Oh, okay. Well, they both have super hearing.
I get it. But yeah, so eating in silence. That's why I really respect you, Roman.
Oh.
Which, by the way, I'm Cameron and this is Roman. I don't think we ever actually said our names.
We didn't. Welcome to the Two Brothers Five Things.
Happy Monday, blah blah blah. We're almost done with the list. Anyways, so but you have the best. Hear me out.
I don't even know where you're going with this.
You have the best playlists for food.
Do I?
If it's a type of food, if we're eating Italian, you've got when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
Will, we've talked about this. I am
That's amore.
past DJ, so
Yeah,
I like
and
to
so
fit the vibe.
You do, and I do the same thing.
If you're eating a little bit of Mexican food, get the mariachi band going.
Yeah, a little bit of that soundtrack from Coco. It's a great movie. Great movie.
Have some
fun with it, you know?
Having burgers, put on some USA.
Living in America by James Brown.
You know, some sort of patriotic song.
Yeah, because you're eating hamburgers.
Nothing
says patriotism like burgers.
Like something invented in Germany.
Yeah. Okay. That's
the
pretty
hamburger.
Good. The Hamburglar.
All right. Are we on to number one, or is it, you have number two?
No, that was mine.
Oh,
I think that was my number two. I think we're on to number one.
My number one. This.
Man, my
real.
number one's gonna be real.
I don't know that this is like so. Maybe this isn't a giant pet peeve, but this is just like why. This is just why. Like, why is this a problem? And it's a problem for everybody. I guarantee it.
I can't wait to see what it is.
Awkward hand greetings. Meaning, when you're going up to somebody and the guy comes up to you and does this,
a high
raises
five?
the hand.
Am I cupping?
There's so many options from this starting point. You can go. You can go high five. You can go.
I have a
lot of people try and do this. They do this, which is okay, but then they want to pull away. Then they want to do this. Then it's like, do you keep going? Do you keep going with this? Are you going in for the bro hug here? Are we hugging? And then you hug, and he didn't want to hug, and then even as you're hugging, he'll want to they'll want to like do a thing with the hand. So like.
While you're hugging?
It's happened to me.
Why is this? You're just feeling it in between your chests.
It's like the hands happening.
Oh, no.
You have not done this? You know what I'm talking about?
I've not done that. One of the weirdest things I ever saw.
I don't know if I've ever had an interaction with the hands that I feel really good about.
I feel
Do
great.
you pull away
so
and be done?
far.
And when you pull away, is it a snap? Is it another bump?
Is it the Fresh Prince?
Yeah. Like, it's just, everyone does something different.
I think one of the weirdest things I ever saw, I was in Atlanta, I believe. It's not important. But we were at a restaurant with a bunch of guys, and one of our friends he talked to everyone, all right? He was always talking to people, and he made friends with absolutely everyone. And there was this old guy who was a little more odd, that as he was leaving, our friend, name was Cedric, he went up for like all right, man, I'll see you later, and like just puts his hand up because the guy was behind him. And I kid you not, just go ahead and put your hand up. The guy from behind him just grabbed his thumb and like shook it. And Cedric's face was like, "What on earth is happening to me? What's going on here? There's so much better to do than just grab someone's thumb."
There is just so much potential for awkwardness if we were to just standardize. That's why I'm a fan of the standard handshake. Not that it doesn't need any flair. It's just.
But you even get into awkward situations. Oh, dang it.
That's true.
You squeezed my hand too soon.
It is a little bit uncomfortable. But even with, I will even accept the fist bump, because at least when you go in fist bump, someone does it early, you know that they're going for a fist bump.
But
if you do it too late,
the ball and socket is the worst.
You do it too late and you get the ball and socket, and that's not what you want.
my favorite is whenever
it doesn't get more awkward than the ball and socket.
It's true, but my favorite is when someone goes for the fist bump and you guys are being stubborn, but the other guy's like hands, and then you switch at the last second. That's the worst feeling in the world. Because nobody feels good. Not you, not the person you were trying to high five, not any of the crowd that was around.
It's so uncomfortable. Yeah.
For two people to be like, you're playing a game of chicken and all of a sudden you switch right at the last second.
That has happened to me so many times. Can we just all do the standard handshake?
I can see why this would be a pet peeve of yours.
Oh my gosh.
Man, my number one's not nearly as funny. We should have ended on yours.
Oh, I just think handshakes, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we can adopt what they do in like Asian countries and bow. We'll just do bows.
That's not a handshake. You just said I think handshakes. Maybe we just bow.
Well, even handshakes, like you said, there's
danger.
It's problematic. You get a limp hand. You squeeze too early, squeeze too late.
Well, if you bow. If you're standing too close, you could butt heads.
That would be bad.
Yeah. I think that happens in the Three Ninjas Kickback, actually. Just a weird memory that I have of the Three Ninjas Kickback where they're bowing and they conk noggins.
And bonk heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Classic.
My number one. Apart versus a part.
Wow, that's your number one?
Everyone. Listen to me.
This is a grammar thing.
This is
grammar police.
And I am terrible at grammar, but this one thing I know is a part versus a part. Like, I can't stand to be a part from them.
Yeah.
Like, you mean a part. And what you're saying is a part. Like part of is what you're saying. Or the other way around. And it's just like, guys, for all of you listening who think I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong here, because a part versus a part is it's very simple if you just remember this one thing. When you think of the words a and part, and if they're together, that means you're apart. But when they're apart, that means you're together.
Wow. We all learned something new today.
It'll help you there.
A little grammar lesson.
Because the last thing you want is to have a very heartfelt thing, a very heartfelt message on Facebook or Instagram, and then you use the wrong apart. It hurts my heart.
Yeah, we should end it on mine.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know. But that is, for real though, that's my number one. That one to me just...
That's surprising to me.
I want to let people know, you mean this. But I don't want to be that guy.
Do other grammar issues bug you? Like when people say, what about when people mispronounce words like
eck-scape?
Eck-scape.
Yeah, that's on my honorable mention.
Yeah, eck-scape drives me. If you're still saying eck-scape, what are you doing? Even espresso.
Yeah.
You get with the times. You've all heard it. You've heard it's wrong.
For a long time.
You know it's wrong.
I thought espresso and espresso were two different things. Turns out.
Well, it is confusing because I think there's an espresso machine brand called Espresso. I was like, guys,
oh gosh,
you are part of the problem.
Why would you feed into this?
You're part of the problem.
Why would you feed into this? That might be the first time I've looked at the camera this whole time.
It's because we really needed to drive the point home.
It's true. It's true. That was my number one, though, and I'm sorry it was such a simple, weird number one.
That's okay. Hey, this is our own unique experiences, our life experiences.
My actual life. I do have honorable mentions, and I'm sure you do as well.
I do.
But based on my number one, maybe we should end on yours. My number one, eck-scape was what I wrote down.
Yep.
My number one, my first honorable mention. My second one is people who scare people. Like we're adults now, guys. Why are we sneaking up behind people and going? It's not like why? Why are we doing this still? Like that is a childish thing. Let's leave it. Let's leave it with the child.
My 5-year-old son loves scaring people. He loves scaring my wife, and it's really funny.
She is pretty jumpy.
She's the most jumpy.
Yeah, and so like that's great. He's a kid. Be a kid. Scare people when you're a kid.
Up, yeah.
But after you turn 18. Let's cut it out.
Even just thinking it's hilarious to scare people.
Like, oh man, I totally got you. Yeah, because we all have reflexes in our bodies that make us not want to die. Of course I jumped a little bit. Yeah, one of my pet peeves.
I could see that.
People who scare people, it's just like, come on, guys, let's not. It's just, and it goes along with like my last one, which
is it really surprising that you got me on that?
It goes along with my last one, my last honorable mention, which probably should have made it on my list, but like pranks.
I hate pranks.
Like, because it's at someone's expense. Like you're making someone look bad for other people's joy. So like that's the same thing as scaring for me, is just like you just made him look foolish for no reason.
I feel like it's low hanging fruit of humor.
I could see that.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Hey, I want to show you this video or this whatever audio, I don't know, of a prank call." Because this is 2000, I guess. And I'm like, I'm not really into pranks. I don't know. We shared this thing. It's just like, it makes me very uncomfortable for the person being pranked, and I don't think it's that funny.
To me, like the worst kind of pranks is when like when someone. And there's tons of videos of people pranking people, but like when someone thinks they have won something or thinks something good, and so they feel really good about this.
Yeah.
And then it's like
pretty mean.
Oh, side note, you didn't just win the lottery.
In fact,
side note,
you're in a viral video getting pranked right now.
I'm not actually your father. That's a little bit more mean than maybe I intended. Side note, like, it's just like, what? Oh man, they felt good for a second.
I think
you just took it away from that.
An exception to the rule is a classic Ashton Kutcher
punked, man.
Because the celebs,
they're and this is why.
Punk some celebs.
Yeah, no, this is. But here's why here's why I'm cool with that, is because Ashton Kutcher, and he said this in multiple interviews, never released the video if the celebrity didn't want it released.
That's nice of him.
They had to be like, yeah, you can show that. And he has even said, like, I lost thousands of dollars because a celebrity was like, no, you can't do that. You can't use that.
Yeah, well,
but he just wouldn't do it if they didn't want him to.
It also, legally, I mean, you can't do that.
I know, but
he may be pitching it as being very compassionate, but also he can't legally release footage of somebody's face without them consenting.
Roman.
Which is why, little fun fact for you in the film world, that's why cops, when on the show Cops, they got to blur their face out. Anytime you don't have consent from somebody, you got to blur their face out. But else they can sue you for all you're worth.
What makes that even better is there is sometimes in Cops when the people's face is not blurred out, and they're just like, no, you can use it. I'm in the wrong here. This is me.
Or is there like 15 minutes of fame, and they're like, hey, sure, I'll take it. But even though I'm getting my face smashed on the ground.
But I mean, like, as Ashton Kutcher, over-punked, being a bigwig in Hollywood, surely he could have talked someone into it. Surely he would have compensated them money to be unpunked. I just think I don't know. I just love Ashton Kutcher.
Really?
I really do. Nice guy. Really nice fella.
I mean, you don't know him, so.
I could text him now.
He seems nice.
I could text him right now. He's one of those people that sends out their actual number and is like, if you have ideas, business propositions, send them to me. And it's his actual number.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Same thing with Lee Cockrell. Same thing.
He has two phones.
Of course he does.
He has a business phone.
But it's his, and it's him that texts back.
No, it's not.
Roman doesn't believe in people, but it is.
He doesn't have that many hours in the day. See, people text him constantly
for a bit, and then it's like,
that's exactly what he wants you to believe, that it's his real number.
People do this. This is a thing that people do. There are business people that do this all the time, and it's so that they can get more investments.
I don't know. Okay, my honorable mentions: poor /
people.
No.
I just try to make you look bad. Pranked.
Poor / excessive font usage.
Wingdings?
We're talking wingdings. We're talking papyrus.
Let's change up the font halfway through the email.
Anytime you are trying to add flair through font, that's a mistake. I'm going to tell you right now.
Especially if you're using Comic Sans.
You don't want to try and add flair with fonts.
Don't use Comic Sans.
Keep it standard, professional. Or like I was walking into this
papyrus.
Hey, if you're going to do papyrus, lean into it and use it the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. Just accept it. But I was walking in the hospital, and it was like this super nice place and like really beautiful architecture. And they have this sign set up that's like check in over here. And there was like 5 different fonts on this page, all these different sizes. I'm like, this instantly makes this place look janky.
Got your attention though, didn't it?
Well, I guess so.
Wow.
Maybe I'm in the wrong.
They're good business people.
Or just like when a font like doesn't match the tone of whatever it's like. I was even just today on the way over here, I noticed this all the time.
Yeah, we're having an intervention for Carl, and it's in Comic Sans.
Yeah. Or like there was this place that was like, I think it was called like, something care animal hospital. But it was like in a Mission Impossible font. It was like in a really like jagged, like kind of
it's like a horror movie font.
Military
and it was a pet
font.
hospital.
It was like a military font. I'm like, this doesn't add up.
That's pretty great. That's a pretty good one.
Learn to use fonts, people. PT Cruisers.
Just you as a somewhat graphic designer. I love that you just dropped PT Cruisers.
Are PT Cruisers objectively annoying, or is it just me?
I think it's just you. I don't really care. They're PT Cruisers, Roman.
I think other people share this sentiment.
But for fonts, can you just give a little advice on to like just a good font for people?
I mean, the classic answer is Helvetica. It's like clean.
When in doubt, use Helvetica. Don't try to get too
exactly.
Don't try to like get too crazy with it.
When in doubt, use Helvetica. Yeah, simple. Simplify.
I sure would.
Negative space. Learn to use negative space. You don't have to fill your font up on the whole page. Shrink it down.
Thank you. I'm trying to help people through this list, Roman. We got to help them. So get rid of your PT Cruisers now.
No more than 2 fonts, people.
Oh,
if you're making a flyer, 2 font max.
Yeah.
All right, PT Cruisers. Yeah, right. I just think they're always like annoying to drive around.
Well,
like they're always poor drivers.
The smart car.
I'm sorry if you drive a PT Cruiser.
The smart car
I'm sorry.
For me was probably why are smart cars a thing? They don't seem so smart.
Yeah, and if you got,
you don't really see them anymore though.
The PT Cruiser, is it a car? Is it an SUV?
Hold on a second.
What are you trying to be?
I legit haven't seen a smart car in like a year, like well over a year, maybe a couple.
They might have gone out of business.
Did they? But I mean, like, you don't just like, well, smart car went out of business. Guess I'll trash this heap.
I did see a smart car like 2 days ago.
Okay,
so they're still out there.
I haven't seen one in a while,
so
I was wondering
prevalent.
if they just didn't exist anymore, or if it was one of those Berenstain Bears versus Bernstein Bears kind of things where they never actually existed.
I don't know.
Mandela effect. Look it up.
Oh yeah, go down the rabbit hole of that.
We just go down the bear hole. No, dang it.
No, don't go down the bear hole.
I was trying to do a Mandela effect thing and try to make you think you were wrong. Pranking you again.
My last honorable mention is when you are required to print and sign something. We are living in 2021 as the time of this recording.
Yeah.
I should not have to print something out at home and sign it with a pen.
That's a good point.
DocuSign, digital signatures. When I do like a bank thing and they're like, you got to print this and signature and fill out this application. Make it an online form.
I mean, for the love of God, my phone knows my face. If my phone can be like, yeah, that's him, why couldn't the document be that?
And I am just always out of ink. When am I buying ink? When am I buying ink?
Here's last time I ran out of ink. I just blew it up on my iPad, signed my iPad with a pen, and then sent my iPad to the bank. I didn't actually do that.
I'm more tech savvy than most, I think, on the computer. I will go through many measures to create a digital signature situation. I'll bring it into Photoshop and sign it that way because I ran into ink like 2 years ago. Okay.
You just never filled it back up.
No.
I actually haven't run out of ink yet. So,
you're doing good.
Been married for a while and had a printer for a while and still haven't run out of ink. But we had never print anything. So,
yeah, very rarely.
Yeah. Because you don't have to because, digital age.
Yeah, but when you do, it's pretty frustrating. And scanning it, you got to print it and scan it.
I'm going to be honest. I don't actually remember how to use that printer because I haven't used it in so long.
You forget how to use a printer. It doesn't connect to your phone for some reason. It's like, what am I doing here? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my honorable mentions list.
Well, this has been a good episode.
This is like almost a therapy session.
Sorry if we got a little heated, guys. Sorry if we called some people on the carpet for their things.
Sorry if we peaked the microphones because we were yelling a lot.
I will say, I definitely can think of one time where I really think I did.
Sorry about that, guys. I hope we didn't blow your speakers out.
Yeah, so sorry about that. And hey, next episode, we promise to be a little bit more joyous, a little bit more happier or something.
We laughed a lot, though.
We did laugh a lot.
But we got pretty frustrated.
We did. Humorously frustrated, but frustrated nonetheless.
Yeah.
Because these are our real pet peeves.
These are. This is just us. We're keeping it 100.
100?
Keeping it 100.
I just thought of a new pet peeve.
Brothers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Brothers!